closer. Maybe enlightenment will take me in this battle. May the shadow engulf our enemies.
What an astounding place.
My mother told me about this place. She said that the village was devoured by the houses of the sap. How could there... this?
All that's left to do is to Aeneas.
Welcome to Eden, the lighthouse of and civilization in these wild lands.
Thank you. Day. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I am Father Justinius. Delighted. And what may I do for you?
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarding them. You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from us.
How could they have learned of the tablet's existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
I wonder how my people could accept the priests settling in their home like this.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. The theft of the relic is probably not a coincidence. Hello. The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to do.
I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the research on Saint Matthias is conducted.
Whom do you suspect of being the thief?
Alas. I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us. Or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matthias later. But first, we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to, but I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
I imagine someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you managed to retrieve the tablets for us.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village had been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings, and then I stayed.
What was the reaction of the natives when you were...
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them, afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Were there any confrontatives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful. Thank you. I will let you work.
If you are saying that these tablets bear from the very hand of our holy founder, then we must find them. Without them, all our research to trace the life of St. Matthias on his island...
Do you have any ideas about who stole the tablets?
Some of the village savages helped us during the search. Perhaps they are behind all of this. Particular woman who seemed to want us to be there. I don't remember her name, though.
Greetings. Desarde. I am handling the investigation into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Toledo, hoping to study some new tech, but once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about St. Matthias, but they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors, and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left, and it has proved nothing but a blessing for us. I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Of course. According to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
What can you tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No, nothing in particular. The night was quiet, and then the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea. The door was closed in the morning, and the lock was intact.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure is it is not one of us.
Well, Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of profit. All that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
Do you think the cult...
It seems obvious. The natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to them.
Well, we conducted the research. Helped us find where they were hidden. Some inhabitants of the are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you. I will investigate where it took place.
As you wish. But you won't find anything. And why does it matter, anyway? There were witnesses to the discovery of these tablets. We have all the proof we need. And that's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove St. Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things. I will leave you to your work. Goodbye. Father.
I'm glad to see you, my child. What can I do for you?
How you created this village?
We did not create it from... It was built around an existing native village. The islanders called it Vixenagad, which translates to the village of the old sage. We saw it as a sign. The natives had probably chosen this name in memory of St. Matthias, and everything here fit the description of St. Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
Why share this village with the natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here and managed the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teachings.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about Saint Matthias. That helped to convince them.
And how well have neighboring villages welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So, we sent them missionaries. There are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedlug, a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But in the meantime, we must settle for the miracle of great coexistence that this place already represents. Nobody thought we could live side by side with your people, and yet.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
Börteert, man.
Hello. I am Lair, the village leader. Well, I was the leader of this village.
Desarde, I am the legate of the merchant.
There are Onol Manawi among the Logead Blau. I did not know that. What do you want from me?
I've heard a lot of things about this village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure I have the answers to all of your questions, but I'll try.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Thélème, and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
The priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them. They were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk that they think that we love their god. They leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They find tracks of the old saint, of the one they call Saint Matthias, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priest called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Suns, and they killed many of them. Oi asked for peace, and the others left us. Wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course. And was Tyrant. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men. Perhaps wiser than they are.
I have to go.
Like so many others.
I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
The priests separated this village into two parts. The exiles must be broken-hearted, having left their clan behind.
Had they been wiser and accepted their new neighbors, they'd never have been forced to leave.
Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur. There is only one entrance and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
This priest, Virgil, said that the night was calm. So calm that he probably fell asleep. So that had to take the key from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened, but someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the neglectful guard.
You think that the one who told them is in this village?
We know that this theft could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village, family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who is close to the exiles, and enough about the researchers to inform them.
You have returned on Almanawi. Do you need something else?
I think I know who stole the tablets.
Really?
I believe those who were exiled from your village seek vengeance because the missionaries forced them to leave. They must have taken the tablets with the help of someone else who stayed here.
You may be right, but you may also be wrong.
You do well to tell me what you know. Once the priests have reached the same conclusions as I have, how do you think they will interrogate you?
You're probably right. The Inquisitors would come back, and my people would suffer. I do not want to break the peace that I did all I could to make. I think the name of the woman you are looking for, Dwal. She helps the priests who seek the old sage.
If she's helping the priests, why would she betray them now?
Her son is one of the warriors who had to leave the village. He is filled with anger and fury. If you go talk to her, please, do not hurt her. She is but a mother who acted according to her son's wishes.
I have no intention of hurting her, but things may not be so simple when it comes to her son. I have to go.
Like so many others.
Greetings. Are you Vindwal?
Bird tier Tumad. Yes, that is me.
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people do him, not me. Everything he did to save the village. But I think the Mind Shaker made him forget what we are. He almost speaks like them now.
Listen, I know you helped the exiles to steal the tablets of Saint Matthias.
No, this is not true. It wasn't me.
There's no point in denying it. I know you did it for your son who had to leave the village.
If you know that, then we don't have the tablets. So what do you want from me?
Tell me where the exiles are. I must retrieve these tablets.
You're asking me to betray my son. Promise me you won't hurt him.
I promise. But if he reacts violently, I'll have to defend myself.
Then I hope he'll be reasonable. Bran and the others are hiding in the woods, beyond the circle of stone.
Thank you, Vindwal.
Found the Dara Grimmeteren.
The magic is running out! Take a potion!
Here, Vindwal indicated. The exiles must be near.
These people have been banished already. There's no need to add death to their list of punishments. Let's try not to fight them.
Don't worry, we'll be discreet.
Remember that we were told the area on the left was a trap. It would be smarter to take the other path.
There, we found them. Left to do is to return to Eden. What are you doing here?
I was worried for my son. I wanted to make sure that everything was fine.
I think so. I managed to retrieve the tablets discreetly.
I am glad to hear that you managed to retrieve them. I will go talk to my son now. He needs to stop taking revenge and find a new clan.
Isa, that has no positive repercussions. I retrieved your relics.
Thank you. Thank you immensely. Thanks to them, we will be able to continue our research on St. Matthias.
I am curious to know who is responsible for this theft. The culprit must be brought to justice.
I do not want to point the finger at anyone. You have your relics back, and that's the only thing that matters.
Your indulgence. But how can we be certain that these thieves will not strike again if they are not punished?
A good start would be to keep a better watch on the priceless treasures that you find.
Had you respected this village, you would not have to look for a culprit. You settled here without even asking those here for opinion on the matter. Instead of talking about harmony, start taking action to really make it happen.
But that is precisely what we desire more than anything. We may have been a bit clumsy in the beginning, but we'll make sure to improve things in the future. You really were a great help. I would be most grateful if you agreed to continue helping us.
I might come back at some point, but alas, I'm very busy.
Naturally. Either way, we are certainly capable of continuing our research without you.
Actually, I must go back to my work. Our next expedition must depart as soon as possible.
Your next expedition?
Our brave researchers must continue to follow the tracks of our founder on this island. Time, here. Take this as a token of gratitude help you gave us.
Thank you. I hope your expedition will be a success.
Oh, there you are, Your Excellency. The Enlightened has heard my prayers.
What's going on? Where are the others?
After deciphering the content of the tablets, they went north to continue their research in some swamps. But they must have encountered problems. Brother Fidelis came back here, and he was in a dreadful state. He most likely came to seek help, but he fainted. It's impossible for us to know what happened to them.
To examine him.
Oh, please do. Any help would be appreciated. We've done our best, but our magic has proved inefficient. And the healer we sent for will certainly arrive too late from San Mateus.
This man is burning up with fever and he bears several bite marks and traces of blows.
The blows did not put him in this state. He looks like a victim of poisoning. I think we put him back on his feet.
Have you tried giving him any anti-poison?
Of course, but to no avail. And what if it were a hex? Heretics?
No matter what happens, you always suspect them.
Why, of course. These savages are always to blame. The man was in the swamp. There are some rare animals there, and their venom is terrible. A healer from the area will know the antidote.
We could ask Lair. He will direct us to someone who understands remedies.
Onol Manawi, you've come back to see old Lair. I heard that you managed to retrieve the tablets.
Did Vindwal tell you?
Yes, and I feel more at peace, knowing that our brothers are alive, and that they will be able to join another clan. And you proved me right. Peace with the Renaigse is possible.
I need your advice. You may already know that one of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition.
I heard about it.
He has all the symptoms of a poisoning, but the anti-poisons we gave him had no effect. He must have been of the swamp, and we're looking for a healer who would know of a suitable antidote.
So, you came to see me. Interesting. Our neighbors did not think for one moment that we could be helpful. Alas, our Donegat is one of the experts. But Vindwal knows plants well. She will know.
Thank you. I will go see her. I hope she agrees to help her. I have to go.
Like so many others.
Here you are again. What do you want?
I have come to ask for your help. Lair told me you know about remedies.
I do know a few of them. I have learned about plants. I used to become a Donegat.
One of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition. Apparently he was bitten by a creature of the swamp.
And now he has the Llewellyn fever. We have a good knowledge about this affliction. He will die if he does not receive proper treatment.
You know which antidote should be given to him?
Yes. These priests are idiots. They could have asked for our help, but they treat us like children. You are different. And you have allowed my son to join a new clan. So, I will... show the priest. Wait a moment. Make him drink this remedy and he'll get better.
Thank you.
Where am I?
You are in Eden. You're safe.
Was I unconscious for a long time? The other members of the expedition, they are in danger. The swamp is so hostile. We weren't prepared for it. Some of our people have disappeared.
What caused these wounds?
A nightmarish creature. The swamp is full of them. A colleague and I had left to fetch some help when we were attacked. I managed to run away, but I don't know what happened to him. As for those who are at the camp, you must go help them.
Show me the location of your colleagues on the map. I will join them.
There. Please, hurry.
Thank you. You should rest now.
Maybe in light. Hurt me in this battle.
I do not remember there being a path in this place the last time we came.
You're perfectly right, my child. This passage must have been cleared by the expedition. We should follow it.
to die in the name of your folly?
All I did was bring you to the place suggested by the tablets. I had no...
Hey, what's happening here? I could hear you from miles away.
Your Excellency, I'm so happy to see you. You arrived right on time to settle this matter.
How did you manage to find us in the middle of this swamp?
Brother Fidelis managed to reach... He's the one who told us where your camp was.
He didn't? What other Orbricas who was accompanying him?
He must be dead. Other companions. All your This is yet more proof that you are not fit to lead such a team. I should be the one in charge.
Maybe you should calm down and explain to me what's happening here.
This expedition was undertaken with no concern for common sense. We are not equipped to explore this type of place. Our people are disappearing, and all we have found are some falsified writings.
Brother Virgil is terrified, which probably explains why he is being so disingenuous. We have made incredible discoveries, and we could find more.
You are beyond redemption. I won't waste another second talking to you. If you want to talk to me, Your Excellency, it will have to be without her.
How charming.
Your Excellency, I hope you will forgive us for that scene. My relations with Virgil have always been difficult, but ever since we arrived here, it has been unbearable. I'm afraid we may need an arbiter.
Before anything else, I need to know what led to this situation between you.
What would you like to know?
For what reason were you quarreling?
The expedition itself, I'm afraid. Virgil was always against it, especially under my supervision. For him, our discoveries in Eden were sufficient. They confirmed what he wanted. The rest did not matter. It could never have continued. And when we found new tablets, it became even worse.
Were they also written by Saint Matthias?
Without a doubt. The hand... some islander symbols. It's fascinating. But what really angers Virgil is the content we managed to decipher. Our founder explained a lot from the islanders. Something our brother cannot accept. He now persists in saying that these tablets are fake, forged by the natives themselves.
Brother Fidelis told me that several members of the expedition have disappeared.
Yes, that's why he left along with Father Orbrick to fetch some help. 3 more of our colleagues are missing. And I'm not even talking if fell ill. I must admit that I underestimated the hardships we would encounter. I made a mistake. I prepared this expedition more thoroughly. But Virgil's being disingenuous.
And no one has searched for those who are missing.
I wanted us to search for them, but later convinced me that it presented too much of a risk. Along with lack of preparation, a constantly decreasing number, and creatures swarming the area.
And by someone, I suppose you mean Brother Virgil.
Indeed.
I'm thankful for these pieces of information, but you understand that I will also have to talk to Brother Virgil.
Of course, that's understandable. You hear us both before decision.
Brother Virgil,
What do you want?
can you explain to me what caused such a quarrel?
The reason for it is very simple. It is Eugenia's folly. This woman should never have been the supervisor of our team. The discoveries made in Eden were sufficient, but no. She didn't want to stop the search. She organized this expedition in a hurry, without taking elementary precautions, and now she's accepting as facts the delirious writings we discovered on these tablets without doubting them for even 1 second.
What do you mean?
We found some new tablets, allegedly written by Saint Matthias, but their content is so absurd that they were obviously forged. Tibetans must have found these stones before us and modified their content.
How would they have done that? The natives cannot write.
They must have been helped by an unscrupulous settler. How would I know?
Brother Fidelis told me that some of your colleagues went missing. Do you know anything about this?
They did not go missing. They were killed. There was the wild beasts, the diseases, and let's not forget the savages. We can feel their presence, roaming around the camp at night. I am certain that they are responsible for the death of our colleagues.
That's strange. There aren't many villages around here.
There aren't any. There are a few hermits, but they are not fighters. And they have better things to do than roam around their camp.
We have 4, and the only native we met was a little insane but would have been incapable of killing several priests.
Those savages may very well have been following us since our departure. We will not be safe on this island until it is entirely converted.
I see. So, you haven't tried to find your colleagues?
So we can die as well. I am not as crazy as Sister Eugenia.
I cannot take sides in your quarrel for now. And, in any case, it is not what matters the most. Even if you think they are dead, we have colleagues.
Well, if you are prepared to take such a risk, I commend you for your bravery and wish you luck. But I would not get my hopes up. You should start by searching the excavation site. To get there, take the path south of here. But be careful. The creatures that roam the area are ruthless.
May the Enlightened protect me in this battle!
These fang marks are impressive. The poor didn't have a chance. He must have been attacked by a large reptile. Most likely a Llewellyn. But what was he doing alone so far from camp? These fang marks are impressive. The poor man didn't have a chance. He must have been attacked by a large reptile. Most likely a Llewellyn. But what was he doing alone so far from camp? soul was almost entirely devoured. He must have been killed by swamp animals. Even so, this wound looks different. It looks like a...
Right. He was stabbed, being fed to the animals. The blade.
This poor soul was almost entirely devoured. Even so, different from the others. Knife wound.
You're right. He was stabbed before being fed to the animals. One.
This man's skull is sunken, but he doesn't look like he was in a... Could he have fallen?
That is unlikely. Look, my child. The wound is located at the back of the skull. I regret to say that, in my opinion, he was struck from behind, with a mace, most likely.
It seems obvious now that these disappearances were orchestrated.
The deaths of these people were a deception. Only the Renaigse are deceitful enough to do such a thing. They kill each other and accuse my people. This virgin, he wants to this woman at all cost. He must be the culprit.
Indeed. I think that we should go find this brother and ask for an explanation. Brother Virgil.
Your Excellency! Weren't you supposed to be looking for our colleagues?
Indeed. I regret to say that indeed all dead.
I knew it. What a waste. Eugenia and her wreck to blame.
I'm afraid someone else is responsible for these deaths are not accidental, and yet they were disguised as such.
The savages! Their thirst for blood is unquenchable. I knew we should never have come without an escort.
Watch your tongue, priest. Our people have no need to hide when they protect their... Only the Renaigse are deceitfully disguise a death.
Who else could it be?
Someone who desperately wanted this expedition to fail. Does that remind you of anyone?
Fine. You unmasked me. But know that my cause is righteous. The Ordo Luminis sent me to keep an eye on this expedition, to ensure that the discoveries we made would not jeopardize our nation or our presence on this island. But the inscriptions on the tablets are a heresy, a dangerous manipulation. Can you imagine what would happen if it was said that our founder listened to the teachings of the natives? But even then, foolish Eugenia took discoveries as without any hesitation, without realizing that our entire nation could suffer because of it. So yes, I want her.
I understand that you might want to protect your nation, but to go as far as assassinating several of your colleagues...
Come now. What would you do if someone were threatening the congregation? You cannot make me believe that you would not be willing to kill. You may have already done so. But since you want using violence, help me convince Eugenia to go back to Eden. My colleagues and I know how to sort through these discoveries. And you will be rewarded, of course.
This Renaigse tried to blame my people for these crimes. The priests would have wanted to punish them, and innocent people would have died. Must answer for his treachery.
It is undeniable that these discoveries could cause a great upset in Taleme. But he has no right to decide what should be revealed or not. On this island, Cornelia should be the one to decide. Be careful with your accusations, though. Eugenia and her are on edge. We wouldn't want them to start killing each other.
It seems to me that all members of this expedition are concerned. They should decide on what's... Everybody listen. I must inform you that I have found the dead bodies of missing colleagues.
How awful. What happened?
Someone wanted us to believe that they were killed by some swamp animals, but it was all staged. Your colleagues were murdered, and their bodies abandoned by creatures.
But why do such a thing? And who murdered them?
Brother Virgil confessed to his crimes in front of me.
Monster! You will pay for these crimes. These people you killed were our brothers, our friends.
Stupid goose. You really believe that I will let you pass judgment on me? You shouldn't have been quick to accept these lies that could destroy our nation, and want to reveal them for all to hear. You are solely responsible for these deaths.
How dare you yourself as the protector of our nation? Murderer!
May the Enlightened protect me in this battle! Our enemies!
I'm sorry, sister. Brother Virgil fled during the battle.
The coward. And naturally, his accomplices fled along with him. What a waste. So many people died.
Perhaps I shouldn't have revealed his crimes in front of him. Thought it was the best way of ensuring he would be judged.
Considering how high tensions have been these last few days, alas. But you did what you thought was fair. Here, take this. Of gratitude for shedding light on these dismal events. Alas, we will have to go back to Eden as well. There are too few of us to continue the...
Wait for more.
Of course. This place was but a single step in St. Matthias's journey. The last tablets speak of a journey northbound, further up in the swamp. But even as no threat, we are not sufficiently well equipped to go there.
We could go there for you if you wish. You just have to tell us where to look.
That would be marvelous. Of course, you would have to start from the excavation site where he wrote this. I think I noticed a path going north when I was there, actually. Look for any traces of life. Perhaps you will be lucky enough to find more of his writings. That would be fantastic.
Don't worry. I will conduct this research and come find you here if I uncover anything.
I've never been that far into this one, but if I was to live here, I would look for a drier place.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle! May the shadow engulf our enemies!
Your magic is running out. Take a potion. May the shadow engulf our enemies.
No magic. Drink a potion.
Shadow engulf our enemies. Your magic is running out. Take a potion. May the engulf our enemies.
No magic. Drink a potion.
A cavern. Hermits often choose places like this when they want to live away from the world. This is incredible. People live here and amongst themselves. We have to manage this place.
No magic. Drink a potion. Close to it,
Murals are magnificent. If St. Matthias did come here, this is where he must have settled.
Let's take a closer look at these paintings. We may learn... This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest getting his face painted by a masked native. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest getting his face painted by a masked native. This mural depicts an old man praying in front of a face in the mountain. He's holding a rosary. Saint Matthias. Praying on Meal Frictiman. Looks like a chaplet made of pewter. It's rather basic, but it was made a long time ago, and it undeniably comes from the continent.
This is incredible. Saint Matthias is often depicted or described as using a similar chaplet. Oh, I feel so lucky to be here, in this cavern where our founder lived.
Tablets. They resemble the ones we recovered in Eden. We should take them with us. The researchers would be delighted to study them. I don't know these glyphs, but these spirals are native symbols. There are some words in our ancient language next to them. The light and the earth are the two faces of a same power. It's impossible to know if this is a translation or another sentence. But this is a message that would seriously displease the Inquisitors.
I can't believe it. These symbols, they are signs used in the secret writing of the Gada.
There are some native symbols here, and some letters I recognize, as if someone had tried to write in the native language using Men duis dat, enon mil frictamen.
It means, welcome us amongst your people, enon.
It's incredible. Saint Matthias would have known about the spirit of the island and would have prayed to him.
I don't think you realize the importance of what we've just discussed. Matthias, the founder of Ptolemy, finished his life worshipping the islanders' god. This is so incredible. Although it will cause a huge upset for our nation and our relations with the natives.
I wonder what I should do with these relics. Eugenia probably didn't imagine that Saint Matthias lived his life in a way that's so different from what they advocate. As for Virgil, he wasn't wrong. Such a revelation will certainly cause a schism in Ptolemy.
You must be concerned. Great revelations are often followed by a trail of blood. But if what was revealed, my people could live in peace with beasts at last.
I already took sides in their quarrel. If I change my mind, I'm afraid that it might be seen as treason. I'll think about it on the way there. Let's go back to the researchers' camp.
So, did you find anything? Or do you need my help?
We discovered a cave that was inhabited a long time ago by a whole group of people, mostly natives. They created a sacred site. The place was guarded by a creature.
And have you found traces of our holy founder?
were also Frank Mateus.
Frescoes? Fascinating.
He was shown having his face painted by a native. On the other, prayed to a god of the mountain.
You can't be serious. You mean to say that our saint converted to the cult of the islanders?
That is what emerges from our findings, yet. Objects that I was able to bring back also point to it's his chaplain.
I can't believe it. So... the words to express how I feel. You must come with me. We must go and discover Cardinal. You realize our entire dogma will have to... So far, anyone who wanted to question it would have burned their fingers. Literally, alas.
And you think that this time they'll listen?
We have solid proof. All this evidence. With your will reveal the truth.
I see. I will help you.
It seems we are arriving right on time. You did well to warn us, brother.
Virgil, how did you know?
I'm afraid that your Excellency's eyes weren't very convincing.
We were informed of your discoveries and of the danger they represent. We demand that you hand them over to us immediately so that they can be destroyed.
How can you even suggest destruction of written by the hand of our founder?
Out of love for our dogma, for our faith, and for our nation. But since you refuse to comply with our orders, you leave us no choice.
Death to the heretics!
May the enlightened protect me in this battle. May the shadow of our enemies.
You think you know how to fight?
Close to his redness steering.
Your magic is running out.
You know how to fight.
Engulf our enemies.
I cannot believe that I just fought my own brothers in faith. The fact that the Inquisition is after us is very disturbing, Excellency.
We would do well to listen to Sam. They will not dare to attack you there. And we will have to take care of Bishop Domitius. He will do everything he can to discredit us.
Right. All this proves is that I will not succeed without your help. There is a risk that the Mother Cardinal will also reject our discoveries.
And if you will allow me to attend the hearing, I would be delighted to support you.
Your help will be precious to us, Father. In any case, we must present our research to Mother Cardinal as soon as possible. I will study the tablets one last time to make sure I know all their content. And I will meet you at the palace in San Mateus to plead our case.
Understood. See you soon, Sister Eugenia.